Hello and happy Wednesday. Today is December 16th and I wanted to make this video because it's more like an update. I am not posting my last pregnancy test video. I made a video for last cycle and I think I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out. It was chemical pregnancy number 10. So I thought I just don't want to post another chemical pregnancy. The line barely showed up. You couldn't even see it on camera. So when it's not visible on camera, I just feel like it's so pointless. I could be telling you, oh yeah, I'm pregnant, and you're like, yeah, right. and I could be just full of it, but I'm not. I'm not a liar. You know, I'm not lying about these chemical pregnancies. But anyway, what happened was I got my doar of sperm. I have to buy sperm. Are you okay? What's going on? Uh-oh, come here. Okay, no, you're just getting tangled. Okay. Okay, Hannah's playing with my yarn and she got tangled around the ankles. You're okay now though, huh? It's so soft. So, my doar of sperm came. I have to order sperm because my husband's unable to have children. And then I'm older. I am 43 years old. If nobody knew that, I am 43. And Hannah I picked a donor sperm and found a cryo bank that actually sends it to your home for at-home insemination, which was like winning the lottery for me. And I got pregnant with her on the first try. So now fast forward 2 years later, I never thought I would be trying again. I never thought that I would have any eggs left, but I do. I ovulate every month. However, 2 years later, my eggs are even poorer quality than they were before. So, you know, I even looked it up. When do you get how many chemical pregnancies before you get pregnant with, you know? And like one thing on Google was like, oh, eventually a healthy egg will come through. But because I have to pay for my sperm, who can afford, I mean, some people can afford it, but to have to pay for it every time I want to try to get pregnant, it is $770. It is $525 for one vial of sperm, and it's $245 for shipping. Ridiculous. So it's always going to be $245. So if I buy 2 vials, it's that, you know, $10.50 plus the $245. So it's always $245, and then you can buy however many vials you want. So anyway, which when I got pregnant with her, I bought 4 at a time because I was like drunk with power. So anyway, and it worked, and I just happened to have a good healthy egg during that whole time when I bought the sperm. Anyway, so with last cycle's chemical pregnancy, the sperm came and the lid is held down by a zip tie. There's like 2 little loops, and then there's a zip tie holding it together. That was not tight at all. It was like huge. It was like the size of a quarter, which a quarter doesn't seem large, but when it's holding a cryo tank lid in place, it's gigantic. So that concerned me when I took the foam off, because there's foam that comes off of the lid. The top of the lid was soaking wet. So I got nervous. That was on a Wednesday. I went ahead and inseminated during her nap time. But I wrote an email to the cryo bank telling them what happened and that I did not feel comfortable. I did not feel confident in the quality of the preservation of the sperm that they sent me. And so they wrote me back through several days of back and forth. Basically, because I wrote dear management, so made sure. And long story short, they sent me a free vial of sperm to compensate for compromised sperm. So it was kind of fun to think, wow, for the first time in my life, I have free sperm, like a normal person. Yeah, right, normal. This is far from normal, but at least it's not as bad as IVF. So, which I have done. So, anyway, so for the first time in my life, I had free sperm. And unfortunately, I have not yet had a positive surge on a test. I am cycle day 14 today, which is still okay because my usual ovulation day is day 13. So, but things are starting to change and fertile signs are coming, but I'm kind of depressed that I inseminated last night, because I had to inseminate last night because the sperm does have an expiration date. They guarantee the quality for 7 days. So, but they don't count the day of shipping. So the sperm shipped out on Tuesday. Yes, and I got it on last Thursday. So, you know, it sat in the second bedroom there all weekend, and the expiration date was the 15th, and which was yesterday. So today's the 16th, and so last night at like 10:50, almost 11 p.m., I went ahead and inseminated, and you know, things were not exactly fertile, but I had to do it, and I should have. The thing about my cycle now is that I can't guarantee, like before with her, I'm like, it's 13, it's day 13. I had her sperm arrive on cycle day 12. That's how confident I was when I ovulated. Now I'm all over the board. Sometimes I ovulate on day 10, some days I ovulate. One time I ovulate on day 16, which is ridiculously late. And so here I am at 14, things are changing, and I hope, it's 10:35 a.m. right now. I'm hoping at 1 o'clock I just get my surge. And the funny thing now is when I surge, I pretty much ovulate like 3 or 4 hours later, or even 6 hours later. It's ridiculous. So anyway, but I wanted to really quick, I want to include a clip I found the long lost video that I was so disappointed that I lost, because the test is so clear on camera that I wanted to show it to say, look, I really am getting pregnant every time, and I can't prove it every time because you can't see the line. So, and with the last one, even though, oh, and by the way, I proved that sperm really do live 3 to 5 days. I inseminated on Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. I did not ovulate until Saturday at 11:30 at night. So 3 days, 9 hours later, the sperm were totally alive and hanging out in my fallopian tubes, and fertilized the egg the minute it came out at 11:30 at night on Saturday night. That was crazy. So I'm like all out of breath. Sorry. I'm like panting. So anyway, calm down. So that was really neat. I don't like to test these things when you have to pay that much money. But because I inseminate, it really pinpoints when things happen. I'm really able to say when things happen, whereas normal people at home, they're kind of just doing it every other day with their husband, and they don't really know what's what. A lot of people, some people are, you know, but for the most part, they're like, we just do it every other day, and we just love each other, and we get pregnant all the time. Anyway, good for you. I'm really happy for those people. But anyway, there are 3 things that I wanted to include real quick. This is not a what not to say. This is just 3 funny things. It's not funny. They were horrible. But I'm laughing now because it's just ridiculous. But 3 things that you might want to think twice about saying before you say them to someone who is trying to have a baby and is having a hard time. The first one, well, this isn't really about trying to have a baby. It's just that when you have a baby at my age, don't say this to somebody that has a baby over 40. So I'm at Walmart. Hannah and I we moved into our new house. We're looking for curtains. And so we're in the aisle, and this lady, she must have been 60, 65. So we're looking around. She walks by us. She's looking at Hannah, and it's so, you know, you love it when people look at your baby and they think they're cute and everything. So, you know, I smile back at her as she's looking at Hannah and just thinking how, you know, saying how cute she is. And then she looks at me and she said, is she yours or your granddaughter? and I felt like somebody had punched me directly in the gut. You know when you feel something physically, like when it physically affects you? And I said, "What?" And she said, "Is she your granddaughter?" And I said, "She's mine." And you know, we're wearing masks and stuff, so it's kind of like, I said, "She's mine." And then I could have handled it a little differently. But I said, "Do I look that old?" I'm sorry, you know when you just snap, and you just kind of lose your mind. And she was such a sweet, cute old lady. Like, I mean, she wasn't old though. 60, 65 is really, you know, it's not like she was 85 and it's just like, oh, you know. No, anyway. I said, "Do I look that old?" And she starts to stutter. She's like, and I said, I can't believe I said this. Please don't judge me. I go, "Come on, Hannah, let's go somewhere so that I can go cry." Like, and she went, I couldn't even focus. It totally ruined. And this is like, this is like October that this happened. And it's just, I've never mentioned it before because I just didn't want to mention it. And, I was so angry. I was so mad. I mean, it ruined my whole day. That was 10 o'clock in the morning and the whole day for me was totally blown. We got in the van. I did cry a little bit. I was so angry and disgusted. I was so mad. So anyway, even if the person is pushing a walker, please don't say, "Is that your grandchild?" unless they tell you it's their grandchild. Anyway, all right. So number 2, the thing that really, again, so basically all these 3 things like get me in the gut. Watching YouTube videos, because you know when you're trying to have a baby, you like to watch other people get pregnant and you're like, "Yay, I'm so excited for you." And you're watching, and this one really cute girl, she was such a nice, I mean, she seems like a nice person, and she says how this would be her 4th child. So she's taking a pregnancy test. It comes out positive. She's so happy and so, you know, says how blessed she is and everything, and how they're trying but not trying, and she just gets to have yet another baby. So she's not diagnosed with infertility of any kind. So they're totally fertile. This is her 4th child, and she's just so happy, yay. And then to turn around and say, "And for all of you who are struggling with infertility, my heart goes out to you." Now, a lot of people would go, "Oh, that's so sweet, thank you." But when I was sitting there and she said that hit me in the gut, like, really? You feel sorry for me? You know, like, I just get pregnant all the time, and for all of you who can't get pregnant, I just feel so sorry for you. That's what I'm hearing. So, you know, maybe think twice before you brag about your 10 children and then address those who can't have any to say, you know, so sorry for you. Anyway, now if you guys see those and you don't pick up on that or feel that way, you know, I'm just speaking from how I feel. So, and I laugh about it now, like, you know, but at the time I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, so, yeah, just think twice about, you know, just common sense. And the third, but number 1 in my book of things that you really should think twice about saying to someone who's not able to have children. My very best friend from high school, we met when I was 17, and she came to visit us in Florida. They were on a Disney World vacation, and her parents got a condo on the beach in St. Petersburg. So yay, fun, you know. And we're in Sarasota. We're on the beach anyway, but it's fun to, you know, so you drive up the highway, you get into St. Petersburg, and it's just fun vacation, tropical land, you know, it's just fun. So we get there and I'm hanging out with her and we go for a walk, and I'm telling her about all of this stuff about how, you know, My husband came up sterile. We tried IVF, and I'm just devastated. And I'm totally devastated. And I'm just at a loss and dealing with a lot of bitterness and anger because, you know, all these people are getting pregnant around me. People that don't even want children get pregnant, and it's just not fair, you know, and stuff like that. And I cannot believe she said this to me. We're on the beach, we're walking. She says to me, and I can't remember verbatim how she said this, but she basically said that she thinks, or that she, I don't know if she thinks it or if she believes it or whatever, that the people that it's the infertility, people not getting to have children, is nature's way of not overpopulating the earth. Best friend from high school. Now, if she had been anybody else, I'd have punched her square in the face. But because she's my best friend, all I could do was stutter and stammer and try to be, I could not believe that she said that. She gets to have 3 children of her own. Her last child was conceived when her husband came home. He was in the National Guard during training, came home for 2 weeks, got her pregnant, left again. So her 3rd child was not even planned. She got to have children whenever she tried. And so, and then the 3rd one, they didn't even try, and he got her pregnant and left. Well, anyway, I don't believe that that's nature's way of not overpopulating the earth. I think that's probably one of the worst things you could ever say to somebody. Anyway, she lives in Idaho. We don't really see each other anymore. And it's not like I'm holding on to bitterness, and you probably think you should confront her. You should tell her that that really hurt you back then. I may someday, but I don't want to hold on to. I just have to forgive and let it go. You know, when people say stuff like that to you, or when things really get you, you have to forgive, and you have to let it go. And you can't hold on to anger and bitterness. You just can't, because it makes you the prisoner. You're the one under their power and control when you let them affect your life. And it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. I can't even talk. When it's you, when it's happening to you, you know, anybody else can go, oh, just forgive, let it go, let it go. Sometimes it's really hard to let that stuff go. But anyway, and then especially with all the things that happen with my doctors, I watch other videos where these people get these amazing specified protocols, and my doctors were like, just give up and get a donor egg, because you just, you know, you're just too nice to pay this money and go through all this, just quit. Anyway, so, which all that is in my fertility story video, which is super, super long. But anyway, but it covers everything. So anyway, so that is it. And I just want to show this video from September. It's my long lost video from September 17th is when I took this video. And I just wanted to show that I really do get pregnant, and that there is a line, it's very visible. And the line in this video was that intense at the same time I started my period. So I'll show that to you, and that's it for now. Still waiting on my surge, and that update will come next. Sorry about the fan going on in the background there when I was in the bathroom. I did not realize the fan was on the whole time I was talking. Anyway, this is the Dewar, or it's actually pronounced Dewar, but I just like saying Dewar better. So, but yeah, the actual pronunciation is Dewar. D-E-W-A-R. So this is the tank. They say not to take it out of the box or the foam. This is the box that it comes in. And so the 2 foam that I was talking about is this. So like the softer one goes on top. The softer one goes on top, and then this goes on top of that even. And I'll just show you what it looks like. This is where the zip tie was. And it was just gigantic. And then the entire top of the lid was soaking wet with the one that, my last chemical pregnancy that I talked about. Anyway, when you take this off, see all that vapor? So I'm kind of thinking that I could have even waited till tomorrow, but I don't want to go past the expiration. Anyway, you pull this out, and I don't have another hand to show you, but see that thing right inside? If I were to pull that blue thing out of that tube it's in, the vials are clipped in that little cane. And I think there are 4 little spots where you can clip in a vial. So like when I ordered Hannah's sperm, I had 4 of these, and they didn't share a tube. They were in separate tubes, I think, or maybe there were 3 and 2 in 1 or something. But anyway, so then that goes in there, and I have to send this back today. So so what I do is I put this back together. They send a zip tie for you, and you just have to, and then a return label, and you just put the zip tie back in there to keep the lid on, put the foam back in, and put the label on and send it back. Okay, I just wanted to show this. Wipe the counter, got some water on it. So I am 13 DPO, and I think I'm starting my period today. I had just the slightest bit of pink, but I'm not gonna fool myself. However, I just wanted to show the line, how you can totally see it now. And it just makes me sad. Like, I'm gonna start crying. Like, for it to show up that well and start my period on the same day, it just makes me sad. I would love, love, love for this to be implantation bleeding. I mean, it totally. But, and it was the lightest of pink mixed with CM. But, you know, I don't want to live in denial either. So I'm just going to assume that it's a full-blown miscarriage. I read some baby center chat threads, whatever, last night that were so encouraging. One girl said that her HCG in the very, very beginning barely doubled every 5 days. And I checked, and a normal increase can be 60% every 3 days. So, Hannah's eating breakfast. Anyway, that's just the kind of line you want to see. Whatever. Anyway, so I hope that line was a little bit more visible. I don't know why or how I lost that video in September, but found it and thought, I'll go ahead and insert it just to show. But anyway, just an update to end this video. I, instead of surging, totally started a period. Craziness. So my free sperm totally went to waste. I cannot believe that. I finally had free sperm, and it was totally wasted because instead of surging, I started a total period. Like, it was, anyway, so I'm shocked. I started reading a whole bunch of stuff on menopause and perimenopause and everything because that's where I'm headed. So yeah, so good stuff. So anyway, I am gonna make a doctor's appointment just to get my usual checkups to make sure that, you know, I'm healthy and normal, and just don't want to have any underlying health problems. So, because, you know, Google can be a very scary place. So anyway, yeah, need to talk to an actual doctor. So anyway, but yeah, so you know what I did? I went ahead and ordered more sperm, and they came today on Christmas Eve. So today is now December 24th, Christmas Eve, and my sperm came today. And so I'm hoping that this will be my Christmas miracle, and that I get to bring in the new year with a pregnancy. So, and if my ovulation gets screwed up again, and I don't ovulate or whatever, if I don't ovulate or if I don't surge and don't ovulate, I'm pretty sure I can go ahead and call Hannah an only child, because there's no way that I can afford to throw money away like that. Anyway, so that's it for now. I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope you have a great holiday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.